Jellyfish have no brain, no heart, and no bones, but they have been surviving in the ocean for hundreds of millions of years by using a body plan that is simple, flexible, and extremely effective. Most of the animal is made of water, with a bell-shaped body that pulses to move and a ring of tentacles or oral arms that hang below to catch food and sense the water around them. Some species stay small enough to fit in your hand, while others grow into drifting giants with long trailing tentacles that can stretch far behind them in open water. Instead of chasing prey the way fish do, jellyfish usually let currents carry them and then use tiny stinging cells called nematocysts to grab animals that brush against their tentacles. Those cells fire almost instantly, and in the right species they are strong enough to stun zooplankton, small fish, fish eggs, and other soft-bodied animals moving through the same water. Once prey is trapped, the tentacles pull it inward toward the mouth, and digestion happens inside a simple central cavity that handles both feeding and waste. That may sound basic, but in the ocean basic does not mean weak, because jellyfish can bloom in huge numbers when conditions are right and suddenly become one of the most visible animals in the area. Many species do best in coastal water, where sunlight supports plankton growth, but jellyfish also live in estuaries, harbors, offshore currents, deep-sea habitats, polar water, and warm tropical seas. Some ride near the surface under bright daylight, while others rise and sink through the water column over a full day as light levels, prey movement, and temperature change around them. Moon jellies are among the best known, with a nearly transparent bell and short trailing structures that make them look gentle. But even they are active feeders, built to survive by constant motion and contact. Box jellyfish are a very different story, with stronger swimming ability, more complex eyes, and venom in some species that can seriously injure or kill large animals, including people. Lion's mane jellyfish grow into some of the largest forms on Earth, carrying dense masses of long tentacles through cold northern water, where fish and plankton drift into reach. Other jellyfish spend part of their lives attached to hard surfaces as tiny polyps, later releasing young medusae that drift away and grow into the adult form most people recognize. That life cycle helps explain why jellyfish can appear suddenly in places that seemed empty before, especially when temperature, food supply, salinity, and current patterns all line up in their favor. Human activity can help them too, because overfishing removes some predators and competitors, while nutrient runoff and warming water can create conditions that support larger blooms in some regions. When a bloom builds, jellyfish can clog fishing nets, interfere with power plant intakes, damage fish farms, and reshape feeding pressure on small marine animals across a wide area. They are not just passive drifters in those moments, because large numbers of stinging bodies in one place can change how fish move, where larvae survive, and which animals get to feed safely. At the same time, jellyfish are also food for other creatures, including sea turtles, ocean sunfish, some seabirds, and certain fish that have ways to handle their stings. Young fish often shelter among the tentacles of some species, using the drifting body as temporary cover from predators in open water where hiding places are limited. In deep water, some jellyfish produce light through bioluminescence, glowing in flashes or pulses that may startle predators, attract other animals, or signal distress after contact. Their bodies can be almost invisible from a distance, which makes them surprisingly effective ambush hunters when sunlight is dim, the water is cloudy, or prey is packed densely in one layer. Movement is slow compared with fast fish, but it is not random because the bell contracts in repeated pulses, and some species can control direction well enough to stay in favorable water. Reproduction can happen sexually in the medusa stage, with eggs and sperm released into the water, but the full cycle often includes that earlier bottom-dwelling stage that anchors the species to a place. This mix of drifting adults and attached juveniles helps jellyfish survive changing seasons, recover after losses, and spread across coastlines, bays, and offshore water over time. Even a stranded jellyfish on the beach can still sting if its cells remain active, which is why people are warned not to touch washed-up animals that look dead or harmless. Up close, the body is more muscular and organized than many people expect, with nerve nets, sensory structures, and coordinated pulsing that allow a very old design to keep working. They do not think the way a mammal or bird does, but they respond constantly to touch, light, gravity, and chemistry in the water, adjusting position and behavior without needing a central brain. That is part of what makes jellyfish so successful. They spend very little energy on hard structures or heavy tissue, yet they keep feeding, growing, reproducing, and spreading across huge parts of the ocean. In some years, they become a small background presence, and in others, they dominate entire coastal scenes, reminding people that soft-bodied animals can still shape marine ecosystems in a major way. Jellyfish may look fragile, but in the right conditions they are durable, well-armed, and perfectly built for a world of currents, drifting prey, and constant change.